What's up, guys? So, don't mind my sweating. It's fucking hot as shit. Even here. It's usually kind of cool in here, but not right now. But I got my 7-string the other day in the mail, which took for fucking ass ever to get here. But nice little surprise, the guy ended up giving me a shitty case with it. At least, I mean, a case is a case, whatever. It's got all these holes and shit in it, though. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Looks like a drummer got pissed off and slammed his sticks through the top of the case or something. I don't know. But came and got a case, and man, when I got this thing, you have to wonder, is this why the guy got rid of it? Because he had the thing set up so fucking terrible. I mean, the neck, he had the truss rod so tight that the neck was actually backbowed, and he had the bridge hiked up to compensate for that, you know, so there's no string rattle and shit. Your neck, it shouldn't even be flat. It should always have a little bit of an arc to it. And then, you know, you can lower your strings and things, and then you get an actual setup. But this thing was set up so bad, I had to go through and took everything apart, and I redid the frets. You know, you can tell the frets are really sexy now. They were gross when I first got it. With these bridges, these locking Tune-O-Matic style bridges, they have these little Allen screws in here, little tiny ones, and if, like in true fashion, you know, just like my Schecter, one of them was missing somehow. It's just not in there anymore. I don't even think the guy knew it was there, and which is funny because that happened with me too on my Schecter. I guess I never really looked at it close enough, even though I worked on it and things like that. For at least like 5 or 6 years, I had no fucking clue that the bridge on that guitar actually locked. It was just hilarious when I found out and saw that one of them was gone and the other one was almost all the way out. Just over time, they kind of unsheath themselves and fall out. So I'm sure that's what happened with this guy. Quiet that fucking amp down a little bit. The guitar plays great now that I've got it all set up. Another thing, these tuners were all completely loose. Like, I could sit there and just rattle them. Things like that. If you don't have everything nice and tight and, you know, held down on the guitar, it's just going to sound like shit. It's not going to play right, and it's going to have all these weird sympathetic noises and shit like that. So I got everything nice and tight on here. Even the neck wasn't tightened all the way down. So this is the Apex 2, okay, and this was a Korn signature guitar. Head and Monkey at the time, or it might have just been Monkey. That might have been when Head had left the band. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. But they released 2 more guitars. First they had the K7s, which were their, you know, well, originally they played Steve Vai's Universe guitars. They had a bunch of those. Then Ibanez made their K7 guitars, which were their signature guitar. Had the low pro edge with a U-bar on it, so they could, you know, do palm tremolo stuff. And they went from the K7s, and then they made the Apex 1, and this was like a side feature to the Apex 1. The Apex 1 was like a really high-end, expensive sort of setup. They had the low pro edge again with the U-bar, and it had this amazing like crackle sort of finish that looked like black leather. It was fucking amazing. Just gorgeous guitar. Binding all around it, and really cool inlays. I had this like little stars and shit going up the deal with like a 69 on the, you know, right about here. It was just a really badass looking guitar. I love that guitar. But this was the side feature to it. I think they made this, the Apex 2, kind of like the K7s, where they had this color, which is like, you know, kind of like a pea green or something. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the color, but I mean, the guitar is fucking awesome. And then the other one they had like navy blue, flat navy blue, kind of like this. I'm not sure. This might have actually been the only color for it. I'm not 100%, but I think I remember seeing a blue colored one, kind of like the K7s. K7s had the same sort of color scheme. But those run a lot more. I got this thing for $500 basically flat, It was like $490 and then shipping and shit like that. This came to like $520 or something. And won the little bid war at the end. This guy, he was getting so close to get like bidding ahead of me, and he was only doing $10 increments at a time, and there was like 4 seconds left, and he got all the way up to $490, and I had put it at $500. But at the very last second, because I was like, fuck, he's gonna get this from me, I put it up to $550 just to make sure. I'm like, no, this is my guitar. I'm not fucking letting this go this time. I've been through enough with this goddamn shit. This is mine. I'm getting this fucking thing. So, yeah, if you're wondering why I, settled on a 25.5 scale guitar instead of the 26.5, I contacted Ibanez and everything, and they discontinued the RGD and shit, and now they've got the RGD Iron Label series with the exotic woods and shit like that. And it's like, who fucking wants that shit, dude? It's just too gaudy looking. I don't know. I like some flashy guitars, but for these types, I just want it somewhat basic. So yeah, 2 pickups in it is the DiMarzio PAF7. So they're pretty low output, and because of that, I'm going to switch out the bridge pickup and put in the DiMarzio Blaze, which is the pickup that Monkey uses nowadays. It's kind of voiced similar. The tone of it is sort of similar, but it's higher output. So I think that will it'll do the job a little bit better, because in comparison to my other guitars with EMGs in them, I mean, those things just scream. They smoke the fucking pickups in this, so there's a significant volume drop when you go to these. And the gain drops significantly too. Like, I had to turn the gain up on my amp quite a bit to get the nice sort of... Yeah, but this guitar is fucking awesome, and like I said, one of the reasons I, settled on this guitar was, for one, I mean, it's the whole reason I love 7 strings is because of the band Korn. I've been listening to them since I was just a wee little lad, and they're one of my favorite bands of all time. Their older music will always be my favorite. Their latest shit, not so much. It's a little too radio rocky. I mean, they've always been a sort of radio band, but they had more grit to them, more like raw intensity. There was a lot of rawness in Korn, is what I loved. The fucking emotion and the sort of raw playing that sounded kind of like you were at a concert, instead of really nice overproduced studio albums. I like a bit of the raw aspects to my music. So that's why I love bands like Slipknot and Korn. And that's absolutely why I think Ross Robinson is the best metal producer of all fucking time. Because some of the best albums ever are the first 2 Korn albums. The self-titled and Life is Peachy. And then fucking the first two Slipknot albums. The Slipknot and the self-titled whatever, and did I just brain fart what the other one is? Iowa. Duh. I can't believe I forgot that. And those albums, they're just so fucking raw, and there's so much intensity. And he's one of those producers that would push the singers to like get into a different frame of mind where they're going nuts in the fucking studio. It's amazing, you know, to capture something like that and have it on record forever. I mean, that's like my dream, is to have, you know, a moment like that where you have this record that is so real and raw and different. It's just so, the sounds were just like nothing you'd ever heard before. The fucking guitar was just so girthy, and it was amazing. And the way they go back and forth with their little odd sounds and just weird shit that they would come up with, their funky styles and things. It's infected the way I've always wanted to play music. So, you know, when I saw this guitar, I was like, fuck, I gotta have this thing. And it ended up being a pretty good trade-off because of how far the strings come back and string through the body. It creates a bit more tension for the strings, kind of compensates a little bit for that, for it not being as long a scale. Right now I have 62, 52, 44, 32, you know, I can't remember the other three, but pretty heavy strings. Okay, this is what, and this is something I had to do. I got these fucking strings because they were the only ones that had this sort of sizing on them. Sorry for my shaking. Remember, I told you I can't help it. 62, 52, 42, 30. So I had to take off three of the wound strings. I didn't want to take this one off because it's the problem with those strings, and why I think the Ernie Ball Cobalt strings are the worst fucking strings on the face of the planet. They're so coarse. They're so rough. You can't slide chords and shit like that. They're just too abrasive. Feels like you're playing on fucking sandpaper. It's like, why the fuck would I want to sit there and fight my strings? I don't want to play the guitar and have to fight the fucking guitar while I'm playing it. It was the most off-putting experience I've ever had playing guitar, you know? And I knew it wasn't the guitar, you know? I was like, fucking like, God, this just sucks, man. I can't fucking do anything on this thing. And I was like, you know what? It's these fucking strings. They feel totally different. So I took them off and put on, you know, the regular nickel steel style. Little different sizes, but they work. And it's a million times better. It's like, I don't know why anyone would ever want to play with those fucking cobalt strings. And I mean, this top one, since I left this on, this went dead way quicker than dull. It lost its bright shimmer fairly quickly. I don't understand what the appeal would be for strings that hinder your playing. So I'm gonna have to give Ernie Ball Cobalt strings a thumbs down, 2 thumbs down, and a dick down, a soft dick, because it's it's no good. So, but this is my guitar, and I'm very, very fucking happy with it. Like I said, PAF 7 pickups, just 1 volume knob, 3-way selector. Pretty nice, like Tone Pro style bridge. I don't know if it's like an Ibanez sort of deal. Graphite nut, 5-piece neck, which I really like. This was before Monkey started having Ibanez put on the volute on the back of the neck right here, which is, I think every fucking guitar on the planet should have a volute on it, because it just strengthens the headstock on the guitar, especially if the headstock is an angled headstock, you know, kind of like Gibson style. Most guitars have headstocks that angle, because it creates more tension, downforce on the nut. It's just fucking pretty easy to figure out, and there's less points for strings to get caught up. You don't have to get roller string trees and graphite string trees and all that kind of shit. You just put the fucking strings on and go. It is missing the truss rod cover. But yeah, I had to redo all the frets, I rolled all the ends of the frets so it's nice and smooth now. You know, there's no like jagged shit sticking out. I rolled the fretboard a little bit too, and it just, those little touches like that can make a guitar that's, you know, all right into a fucking amazing machine. So this guitar is the shit. I am going to change this to the Blaze pickup because it's just have more girth. I had to turn up the gain quite a bit. Oh, I almost forgot. I also got a fucking whammy pedal finally. So I can use it sort of. It's the song's DBK by Korn, but I mean I've been having a fucking hell of a time playing with that thing, like making this riff a bit more heavy. Yeah, so I'll be doing some other videos, you know, kind of playing some Korn songs and shit like that, because, you know, I've been wanting to do that forever. I'm like, man, I want to cover some Korn songs, and I tried it before with my 6-string, and I was just like, you know, it isn't the same. I need to have a fucking 7-string, and now I have the perfect 7-string to play Korn with. So yeah, I'm just trying to get all my pedals set up to the sort of right settings for their, you know, weird sounds that they make. There's some pedals I don't have, so I'm gonna have to like fake it with other effects and stuff. But yeah, so this is my new guitar and whammy pedal, which is awesome. God damn it. Fucking cable. What the fuck is that shit? I must have a short in one of my cables. All right, that's a good way to fucking end the video here. You guys stay tuned because I'll be making more videos with this motherfucker right here. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I also want to start doing some more like how-to videos with you know, fixing up guitars and dealing with certain things. Like I want to redo, you know, do another Floyd Rose video, because all of a sudden that video has been getting, you know, thousands of views and people are hitting me up all the time asking me questions about it. So figure, well, if people are this into this kind of shit, you know, maybe I'll make some more of these kind of videos. So stay tuned. I got tons of ideas and shit now, and hopefully got everything set up now that I'm able to do videos again. So we'll see you later.